Welcome back, Mr. Mark. How you doing today?
Good, my brother. How's it going?
Good, good. I can't get enough of you. I keep inviting you back because we are doing all this cool stuff together, you know?
I wasn't prepared for that.
I mean, professionally marketing.
Oh, you know I love you, Al.
Likewise.
Exactly. No, it's always look. I always enjoy chatting with you, Al.
Yeah.
It's like you and I always have good conversations and
Mm-hmm.
solve all the world's problems. So between
Yep.
the two of us,
Mm-hmm.
folks are golden.
Yep. I know. They just needs to listen to us more, right? I'm just kidding. You and I see eye to eye in many, not all the time. We work together for a while, but like a lot of times, and some, the marketing is changing, and we've talked about generic stuff, go to market strategy. We've talked about AI, but one thing that is really I want to talk to you about is something that we have been offering to our existing clients, but but it's not a product that's offering that as of right now we have to everyone. It's something that we're thinking about it, but it's something that we've done in addition to everything else we do for our clients, and that's digital PR. And you have inquired about it with us for a while, and you and I have talked about it. So I just wanted to have today's conversation about that, if that's okay with you.
It's okay with me. Al,
Cool.
tell me, what is digital PR?
Well, I was going to ask you I know what it is from my.
You're the expert. Like, why are you asking me?
Well, I was going to ask you. I can tell you from my narrow view, but I'm curious to see. So let me answer that question by asking you a question from a leadership position, marketing, CMO, high level position. What do you think a digital PR is?
Well, so I mean, I think everything gets back to what goals do you have for your business, your brand, and so on, and and what I'll say marketing techniques, advertising tactics get applied to ultimately driving success, right? And so if we're trying to boost our SEO, if we're trying to increase traffic to the site, if we're trying to increase third party awareness, if we're trying to get a third party voice, I'll say, um, uh, related to our business or our brand, well, then that's digital PR,
Mhm.
right? Because
Sure.
I think, part of it is, bifurcating what is traditional PR and what is
Mhm.
digital PR, right? And I try to just couch it the way like we want certain results, and we can get those results from digital PR. We can also get different results from traditional PR, and it's not like one just magically replaces the other in all use cases, right? They do different things for different purposes and different outcomes. And I think that's what people like really need to focus on. It's not just like and this is a comment I'll make about all marketing, which is like there isn't like one silver bullet for everything, right? It's not like, oh, Gen AI replaces all of your creative now. It's like, no, you know, every tool and digital PR to me is just another tool that has to yield a certain set of results. And that's how I look at it as a marketer, right? Is like if I'm going to invest in a tool or a service, I better get results. And
Sure.
so that's again like for digital PR, I'm expecting to get results in terms of my SEO better be going up, my number of backlinks better be increasing, and I should have a third party uh, point of view or awareness building about my business and my brand that then can complement and work well with traditional PR, which is more first party, right? Or first, it's like my company's voice, my spokesman talking about the business in an interview setting, typically, right? Digital PR is getting that third party commentary, talking about my business without me talking about my business. And so that's where like I like using them both together because they do different things. And I'll just like since I'm rambling here, I'll just also I'll also say traditional PR is just kind of like the megaphone, like big, broad awareness type of things. You don't really expect it to drive SEO per se or to drive leads, right? You use it for amplification of your business. Digital PR is more transactional, more performance oriented, and you expect a set of performance results from it. So that's why, like, if marketers are out there listening and you're trying to think, oh, do I use digital PR? Do I use traditional? You really use the right one at the right time. And frankly, I use both at the same time because, again, they do different things, and I expect different results from them.
That's awesome. Sorry, if there's a little bit of background noise here. The garden decided to show up right now.
Oh, I hear it now.
You heard that? Yeah. Um, cool. That's pretty much everything that I know about digital PR as well. You just
So show's over. We're done.
The
All
show's
right,
over.
let's go. Let's go have a tequila and head into the weekend,
Oh
my
yeah,
friend.
tequila sounds good, especially with my allergies right now. No, basically, to tell you the truth, basically, um, I got into everything you said. You explained it really well, a little better than I could explain it. But I got into digital PR because SEO, search engine optimization, is one of the things we do. And when we work with larger enterprise clients, you don't necessarily have to worry about that stuff. They have their own PR company programs going on. But when we work smaller or startups or medium-sized businesses, you see there's a lack in backlinks and things like that. And as you and I, we both know, and everybody else should probably know by now, backlinks are really important for SEO. So,
okay, since I know what a backlink is, and
okay.
I know you know what it is. Why don't you explain for the viewers what's a backlink and why is it important?
Sure. Backlink is basically other sites linking to you, which shows Google and other search engines that you're credible. When other sites organically, editorially, not through promotions or ads, but in their blog posts, in the news articles, they link to you. That shows that you have some sort of authority about that topic. So Google has been using backlinks as part of the PageRank algorithm since Google was Google. And unfortunately, a lot of SEO experts started gaming the Google algorithm and created artificial backlinks by going out to other websites and paying for links or putting up other websites that link to your website. And there was a whole bunch of link scheme that Google didn't like. They're like, hey, it's fine if you want to have backlinks to your website, if you want to pay others to link to you, but you need to specify those are ads. You cannot try to manipulate our search results. And they have also released a bunch of updates, and they've got a lot better at it to detect those type of links. And very few of the schemes work these days. And if they do work, it probably won't last. So a lot of SEOs are shifting focus toward PR, digital PR, which essentially produces the same thing, but it's a lot in a more kosher way. You're not doing anything spammy. You're not paying anybody for a link, or you're not doing anything that would violate Google's guidelines. And digital PR is one way to do it. Basically, you're doing what a traditional PR company would do. You pitch a story to a third-party site, let's say Forbes or NASDAQ, depending, or even within your own industry. Like the project that you and I worked on together was around manufacturing. So pitching articles to manufacturing.com or .net, and then not really dictating that, hey, this is the link, this is the anchor text, this is the page needs to go. They have a freedom to not even link to you, and that's really an art and science, at the same time, because it's a science because you have to identify the websites that are relevant to you, that have traffic, that are worthwhile. But it's also an art because you want to pitch them a story without telling them, hey, link back to me. It needs to be compelling. So staying within those guidelines is what makes it very exciting. But in addition to SEO, which is the main reason I got into it, I've noticed is that it's also helping a lot with our omni-channel marketing. It's bringing a lot of referral traffic that we can retarget later, because those sites, those content are good quality content that are linking to you or linking to a blog post on your website. And now you can, those websites are now your visitors. You can retarget through your Performance Max campaigns or whatnot. Those people may, if they really like your content, they may subscribe to your newsletter. So now you have some new additional visitors and users to your website that you didn't have before. And my early findings on AI search, people using ChatGPT and to search things, and also Perplexity and other Claude or whatever, is that AI seems to be also liking those type of links and citations that you get on other people on other websites. They need to be credible, right? Not any website. It needs to be like websites like Forbes or CNN or Nasdaq, depending on your niche. But they also seem to be liking it. That basically AI, one of the way AI ranks you and search shows you in the search results is is through branding. If you have a strong brand, then you're more likely to show up when people are asking questions. For example, what is a good marketing agency in Orange County? Clarity Digital. We all should know that, right? So I think those are the things that I really enjoy seeing results through digital PR. But it has to be the proper way. It can't be this. You can't game the system anymore. And if you do,
Okay.
you
Okay.
probably won't get
So
away with it.
got it. So you just shared a lot there.
I did, yeah. Yeah, I think
I
you're
got
interviewing me now, so
I got to
go
cut you
ahead.
off. Let me
Yeah,
try to for folks out there. Let me try to
yeah,
summarize
yeah,
what
let's do that.
Al just said. So, look, again, everything starts at what's the goal,
Hmm.
and if the goal with digital PR should be to improve your SEO by getting credible backlinks to your site from an article that's posted on a highly reputable content website, typically like you were mentioning Forbes or Fortune or so on, or something industry specific as well. But it's a credible website that gets a story or article published on it about your company or about something your company does with a backlink over to it, and it's written in a third party voice. So it's not like me writing it, it's a third party voice that's writing it. And so what all this does is you're on a credible website, so it's trustworthy. The link is high quality, so Google will appreciate that from a SEO perspective, right, and drive more SEO traffic your way, right, and you get that further exposure. And sort of the other piece is this both sets you up for AI search, but also improves your just Google search today rankings, because now you have these credible websites publishing articles about your company with authoritative links, and the more you
Hmm.
get of those links, right, just continues to build that authority. So it's
Sure.
a service and technique that
Hmm.
that helps to achieve ultimately that goal of establishing yourself more on the digital side than what the traditional PR side does.
Cool. You explained it really well. Thank you. And I'm going to use it
Okay, and then
as a copy on our website.
Al's the master at doing this. So,
No, yeah, I
call,
mean, it
call
was a
Al.
lot. I don't know about master, but we did. It was a lot of trial and error, right? We were pitching um, articles, and sometimes it was just there was things you had to do first before we do that. For example, if you're, especially if you're in a startup and you're pitching to, let's say, Fortune or Forbes, they're not gonna. If you're just pitching something about you that's very self promotional, they're not gonna publish it. But however, if you release something really unique in your blog, some data, um, for example, if you have an
Yeah, or
automotive
some
client,
interesting insights and
something
so on.
interesting insight. It
Yeah,
doesn't have to be statistics all the time.
yeah,
And then you can kind of rephrase that and pitch it to Forbes. They're more likely to write about it, and when they mention the data linked to you. So that's that, and that's the art part, right? It's both science and art, because the way you craft the messaging, and that's how we learn the hard way, and that's why this product isn't for everybody, because there are going to be those businesses that don't have time or insights that they can share. We worked with an attorney who was always in court and was like, I don't have time for this stuff. So, so a digital PR also doesn't work for everybody. You have to be a company that's willing to provide some really unique insights or content or data of within your niche. So it's an art and science, as I said earlier on.
Well,
Yeah.
and I think the key, because a lot of people, a lot of companies just want, like, we want PR, we want to, be on, Wall Street Journal or whatever, and be interviewed, and sometimes it's tough to get those interviews right off the bat, especially if you don't have stuff that's really newsworthy. Because I think the difference between digital PR and traditional PR, traditional PR, they want a hot story, right? It's like, oh, you just closed this big deal with the federal government, and like they want to know about it and break the story, and then they'll interview you and cover you. But it's less about you and more about like who your client is or your partner is or so on. That's traditional PR. I mean, what's exciting about digital PR is it's something that's more evergreen, that you can run it all year long, when you may not have a ton of news, but you might have, like you said, interesting facts or interesting market studies or insights or what have you. And having that written up about your business or associated with your business in that third party voice, just creates great content. And ultimately, no matter what business you have, people, start at Google and use Google search to try to find you. And you want to make sure that the links that they're finding, to your earlier point, it's not just, content from your company. It's third party. It's like, wow, do you want to read an article that me as the company wrote, or do you want to read an article that is in Forbes about my company? Well, most people are going to go to the Forbes article, right? Because they trust Forbes, and they trust the content that's there, and that's sort of that trusted news source. And so I think that's a key to how this works, right? Is
Sure.
PR is great, traditional PR is great, has a purpose, but digital PR, can immediately affect your search results.
Sure, 100%. And I was looking at LinkedIn. It has many other impacts as well. I wrote a piece that I published on Fast Company about the balance between AI and marketing, and someone that I didn't think would like that liked it and shared it on their LinkedIn. And now, like, a bunch of people started adding me into LinkedIn, so it's helping me with my personal brand as well. So those are the type of things that digital PR does that the traditional link building didn't do. And it's also most of the SEO experts know that when it comes to SEO, at least, it's quality over quantity. So you can get 100 backlinks from a bunch of mommy bloggers or whatever, if they still exist, and you can get one backlink from, let's say, Forbes or Fortune, and then the backlink from Forbes is going to be a lot more valuable for your SEO.
Yeah.
Than
I
the
was going to apologize to all the mommy bloggers out there who write
I
great
apologize
content
to mommy.
for, the
I
mommy
apologize.
industry. So
I take it back. I do work with a few of them, on the e-commerce side. So I remember there was a day where there was a lot of abuse in that, and I think I'm just speaking of
yeah,
experience.
I think, like, to clarify what you're saying, digital PR is all about high quality, reputable websites,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's, broad national kind of websites like a Forbes, or USA Today or Business Insider, all those kind of top tier news outlets,
Sure.
as well as industry specific ones. It's all about positive reputation. I think what you're also saying is that you don't want backlinks from some random site where you've paid them $500 just to
Yeah.
take an article and put a link in there, and Google ultimately is not going to value that link over a link from Forbes, right?
Yeah.
The Forbes one is
100%.
going to be super high quality. So this isn't about just buying links on sites. It's about having a great reference article on a third party site to do this.
Yeah. Here's a post by the way. I didn't know Mr. David Edelman. He's a Harvard business fellow. He liked my article and shared it on his LinkedIn. and then I was like very excited about it. So this is just an example. I'm just showing as an example that this is the power of digital PR, that something that we couldn't do with the traditional link building, and it also testimony that this is not just for SEO. It's for your branding. It's for
Yeah. Okay.
so
The one
yeah.
question I do have for you, because like you're a far more expert in SEO, digital PR, backlinking. What's
Mhm.
the difference between a do follow and a no follow backlink?
Yeah, do follow is the links that actually help your rankings. No, those are the what we call it editorial links, that people are voluntarily linked to you. There's no transaction happening. There's no money uh, exchanges
Okay.
happening. And no follow is when you pay someone to link to you for drive traffic, not necessarily manipulate search results. Like advertising, basically, or when you link to someone and you're not too sure about, you don't want to kind of vouch for them, you don't want to like endorse them, but you still need to link to them, but you're not very sure about them. You add a no follow. Basically, you're telling search engines, don't follow this link, or I don't endorse this link. I just link to it as a reference. No follow links are, like for example, and a good example of no follow links is the directory links. When you go add your business to a
Mhm.
directory, it will ask for a backlink. It's like, hey, what is your website URL? Like for example, Yelp, right? Yelp adds a no follow to your link automatically because Yelp doesn't want to endorse your business, right? It just does your link. So that's something that Google came up with a long time ago. I don't know how long ago, over a decade
So
ago.
is that something like the publisher puts codes it on the backlink? Is they
Yeah.
tag it as like a do follow or a no follow?
Yeah, you don't have to add do follow. If you don't put any tags, it's a do follow. But if
Okay.
you choose not to endorse someone, you add the tag called no follow.
Oh,
And there are sites that automatically add it, like for example, Yelp.
got
Yeah,
it.
because they can't endorse you. They don't know. There's a lot of, they're linking out a lot. So, and there's other similar tags like that out there, like ad. I think is I don't know all of them. There's a few other ones like sponsored. So basically, the ones that you want are the one that they don't have anything in them. They're called do follow. And what SEO people used to do is that they used to go pay someone, hey, take my guest post that I'm linking back to myself, and it was just like very very like gaming the system type of,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's what we don't want to do. And it doesn't work anyways. I think marketing and SEO is becoming increasingly integrated. It's no longer about just Google. It's about everything else, right? It's about AI. It's about,
Hmm.
it's about your personal branding. Different people search differently. Like for product, people are going straight to Amazon. So you have to think about doing things properly. And digital PR is a proper way of doing link building.
Yeah. And it seems like digital PR, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, it's really awesome for B2B SaaS kind of
Mhm.
businesses, right? Like, I
For
mean,
sure.
if you're a B2B SaaS business, you should be doing digital PR, right?
Yeah, for sure. Because the B2C companies, like let's say e-commerce, they tend to organically get a lot of backlinks. But
Right.
B2B, especially startups, you have to go out there and tell your story, and your audience are very different. They're a lot more. They're more likely to read publications and stuff like that. So it's actually B2B and SaaS, just B2B in general, has been uh, are the biggest winner of digital PR. Like I want to say something like where influencer marketing may be good for B2C, digital PR is good for B2B. But they both can use B2C and B2B. They both can use digital PR. But that was just like a little comparison. But
That's
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good comparison,
is
actually.
it cool? Yeah, because there are some people.
I'm gonna tell all my friends that it's like digital PR is for B2B and influencer marketing is for D2C.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, influencer marketing. I'm on TikTok a lot, and people are trying to sell me this like Dubai chocolate for $50. I'm like, why do I want to pay $50 to eat chocolate with pistachio?
But
I
it's
have
so
chocolate,
good.
I have
It's
pistachio. Have
so
you tried it?
good. Oh my God, my daughter loves Dubai chocolate.
Oh my
So
god!
like
I keep
we
looking
have
at it. I'm like, even
mounds of it.
I'm like, I can't justify spending $50 for a chocolate
Yeah,
bar.
no.
I just can't do it.
At the mall near where we live,
But
they
they
have a
have it.
stand and it's like $20 a bar. So it's like
Okay.
every once in a while she gets one. So
Yeah. But that's influencer marketing, right? All those TikTok guys, and we're on a B2B, your target audience, your ICP is reading Forbes and other articles.
yeah, yeah.
So that's great.
Well, I mean, in the B2B world, right? I mean, a lot of what marketers have to do is manage the touch points.
Hmm.
And, it's not like in direct to consumer where you see an ad or you see a post and it's like, I'm going to go buy that chocolate bar now and it's
Yeah.
$20, right? In B2B, oftentimes the price points, $50,000, $100,000,
Hmm.
millions of dollars. And, people aren't just buying that on last click. They're
Sure.
shopping, they're reading, right? They're getting to know your business, trying to feel the reputation of your business. And so digital PR, along with traditional PR, it definitely helps in that reputation
For sure.
building.
For sure. And there's many you can get one thing I do like about digital PR, you can get creative about it. It could you could be reaching out to your I don't want to say influencers, people in the industry like podcasters or whatever, and attend their podcast. And but they tend to, like, for example, right now when this ends, I'm gonna put it on our website and I'm gonna link back to your website. So that's another way for you to get a link from another agency. So these are all part of the digital PR activities. But it's very important because, like you said, it's not a 20 or 40 or $50 chocolate bar you're buying in a B2B. There's a lot of consideration happening, and there's a lot of research. So I think and different companies have a different understanding. It's not press release, and the press release is you're just sending a press release over the wires, and those links tend to be, by the way, no follow. Because
Oh, really? Is that true?
press release, because they get released over a
So
bunch of
they get
different
so
wires.
many, right?
Yeah, they automatically add no follow. So those links don't really help you much in
That's good to
SEO.
know.
Yeah,
That's good to
so
know.
yeah, you still need to do press releases to,
Yeah,
for sake of doing press release, but
yeah,
only if you have newsworthy stuff.
yeah. Well,
Um,
it gets back to that, you know, uh, information coming from the company. Most people are assuming, they're putting the best face forward. So, the third party stuff is the most valuable stuff where someone else is
mhm.
talking positively about your business. I mean, that's liquid gold.
Yeah,
That's better than Dubai chocolate.
yeah. I still haven't tried to buy chocolate, so I don't know.
Okay, this weekend you got to go buy one. It's so good.
Fifty
So
dollars.
good.
Okay, fine. I'd rather buy a nice bottle of tequila for $50.
Well, you can find it cheaper. Like I think even like Trader Joe's sells it now or
Oh,
something.
really?
I'm
Okay.
sure
I
they
I
do.
love Trader Joe's. Some of my
It's
good try that.
so like I think I was talking to the people at Whole Foods and I think they're going to start to carry it. So I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
when Trader Joe's and Whole Foods carries it, it's
That's
like
crazy
it's
marketing, and
maxed
that
out.
tells you that's like shows you power of TikTok for like I'm like that's amazing.
Yeah, that'll be our next discussion
We
is the
should talk about that, yeah.
power of TikTok
And
on
social
our.
media.
All
Yeah,
right,
I
Al. What
yeah, I
else?
know.
What else you got for me today?
Yeah, I think another thing is basically reporting and digital PR, like what to report on. I think that's goes back to what you said, the goals. What your goals are. If your goals are SEO, so obviously uh, your KPI would be increase in organic rankings and visibility and stuff like that. If your
Yeah.
goals are other stuff like traffic to your website, so you setting up goals is very important too for
Yeah.
digital PR.
Well, and I would maybe reframe it a little bit differently, which is like you got to know your main goals first, and then
Hmm.
you pick the right tools and services that help you achieve the goals, right? And
Yeah,
versus like, hey, I'm just going to use digital PR for the sake of it, right? It's
yeah,
you got to have alignment on like what are you trying to achieve with your business at this stage, right? Are
yeah.
you still pre-product and you just want to drive some thought leadership? That's one thing. Or are you at a point where your product's in the market and you need to actually drive leads, right?
Yeah.
Then like that's a different set of goals. And then, if you're a mature company and so on, you're trying to just capture a wider net. So like everything depends on the scenario of, what kind of business are you? If you're in the B2B space, are you, early, mid, or late stage? And then what are you ultimately, trying to achieve? And, you know, I was like, I mean, we've talked about this before, but, um, new customer acquisition isn't, or shouldn't be the only goal
Yeah.
people have. Retention and growth with existing customers is so valuable. So, think about as as a business, are you trying to just purely do new customer acquisition, or where does, retention marketing factor into this? And those are, have different goals and so on associated with them, and then certainly different tools and techniques that you'll use to accomplish those goals.
Yeah, really good point. I work for a company, I'm not going to name them, is that they were a large company, but retention was the key for them to becoming a very large company. Uh, New acquisition was also a goal for them, but even if when they had a new client, it would take over a year for them to onboard the client. So the retention is really important, because if you don't have the retention, and your
Yeah.
onboarding is over a year,
Yeah. All right.
the
Well,
money is not coming in.
we're gonna have to have another discussion on retention, because it's just still
Yeah,
like I think a lot of companies, you know, talk about it and acknowledge it, but like the emphasis on it is usually, you know, it's not even 1/10. It's probably like 1/100th of what
yeah,
people spend on new acquisition, and you know it's hard to keep filling the top of the funnel, right, every day, right? You have to really work your existing clients and make them successful and helping them grow. And like I'm working with some insurance companies where they're trying to figure that out, because like they may get someone for say car insurance or home insurance, but then they're trying to figure out, well, how if the customer comes in for home insurance, how do I get them to buy car insurance, or vice versa? And it's actually easier to sell the existing client than just new acquisition.
sure. It's and
So
cheaper too, easier and cheaper, right? Because they already trust your brand. They're
yeah,
just a couple of emails away,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
that's
and
right.
yeah, but I think one thing I do want to mention about
Sure.
digital PR is that um, I think if you want to, and this is me not being biased because this is what we do, but if you want to get a PR agency that does digital PR, I think it would be important for them to also have a good understanding of everything else marketing. I'm not discrediting any of the PR only companies, but the PR only companies obviously that have a lot of contacts so they can get the job done. But the way we go about it at our agency, we um, um, digital PR. Let's say if you're trying to rank for a keyword that we're struggling with, we start. That's where we get a little bit creative. We start creating content and data and story and insights that help boost that keyword. It's not just, and then that's how, so when Forbes links to us, like for example in that article I showed you earlier, I'm trying to improve our agency for the term AI marketing, right? So I just started this, so we're not ranking it, but that's really, there's a strategy behind it. If you go by the traditional PR agencies, yeah, they might do the job for you, but they're not going to have that SEO or marketing, digital marketing strategy behind it. So that's another thing that I like about our approach, is because while we're doing this the right way, we're pitching articles to all these websites, we also have a strategy. Hey, this is what we're trying to achieve. This is a keyword we're trying to improve. This is like you said, these are our goals that we're trying to meet. It's not just having PR for the sake of having PR. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all that. I don't want to get too into it. But do you have any questions? Do you want to discuss anything else about this PR, digital PR?
I think we covered it pretty well, Al.
Cool. All right.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so
Hopefully
much.
You have a great weekend. Hopefully, the gardener's done mowing your
Oh
lawn
yeah,
and it looks beautiful. So,
yeah. Thank you, thank you. And
yeah, buddy.
just as a recap, where can people find you, Mark?
My company is called Control Media with a K, so KONTROLMEDIA. So it's controlmedia.com, or you can find me very easily on LinkedIn. I don't think there's another Mark Kapczynski on LinkedIn, so as long as you get close in there, I'm sure I'll pop up for you. But yeah, I'm pretty active as well on LinkedIn, and so you can find me there, or just call Al.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it.